Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. The first regular video I think I've done in, well, it must be a couple weeks now. It's been an interesting holiday, and I actually, before I get started on this, I want to thank everyone for their kind words and wishes on my last video. It is very much appreciated. And now that I've gotten the first major glut of work done, like work from being away on holidays, I am going to get back to a more regular answering of comments, and also I have a huge backlog of videos to catch up on, and hopefully I'll be able to get around to that too in the next few days. So this here is the Matten filter I had built previously. I had intentionally made it side by side so that I can clean one and not the other and have a more balanced filtration. And also I wanted all that extra space for being able to put in like rock and plants and a bunch of other stuff. But not everyone's going to have that kind of space, so I thought I would do this. This is the part I've already shown you. This is going to be a modular Matten filter. So they're back to front, so you can still just clean one and not the other. And you can swap them, which one's in the front, which one's in the back, and all that sort of stuff. Now there's not going to be as much room in this to put a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot more compact. So I don't think there's going to be any possibility for lava rock. But because there's going to be two columns up the sides where you're going to be able to put, where the lift stacks go, you should be able to put in some like pothos and that sort of thing. So I'm going to try that as well. And this is going to go on the nano saltwater tank. I guess I should stop calling it that now because after, if you saw Wednesday's video, that's pretty much all torn down now. I still have a little bit more work to do on it. And then it's going to be converted into a freshwater tank for raising something. I'm not entirely sure yet. And this filter is going to go on that. So it'll fit in there and I'll be able to do some stuff with it. It'll be kind of cool and interesting. Now, the other thing that you're going to see near the end of this is I mentioned in the last video that when that auto refill for the saltwater tank let go, a fair amount of water got into the tank that was below. Well, actually, that turns out that it was actually a large amount of water, a large amount of salt water. And that has now been torn down. I had to redo it completely because I noticed there was actually a dead pleco in there, which I guess plecos are not as salt tolerant as guppies and rainbow fish. And I already showed you that all the hornwort had died in there. And so that's all been taken apart now, restarted. And that's where this is going to go temporarily, just to get it all wet. Now, one thing I find about Matten filters, when you first start them up, that sponge is a little bit more buoyant, and it does take a little while for it to absorb sufficient amount of water and expel all the air that's trapped in it before it settles in properly. So it's just going to sit down there and do all that sort of stuff while I get the other tank all up and running. So while I've been chatting, this is the bare bones for this. It's just, there are obviously going to be two more sides to this. So they're going to be on the front, and they're going to be guides for that center bit. And it is going to sit inside there, and the two lift stacks are going to go to the sides. Now, one of the things I forgot to do, I guess I'm not quite fully caught up on my sleep, I forgot to drill the holes in that. So I just put two blocks in there and then did the drilling. It's easy to get around. And these three holes here are, I decided, because there's going to be, that center part's going to be removable, I thought it'd be cool to have a little hand guide, as you can see there now, to lift that out with, which is just to make it a little easier. Now these are the lift stacks. I've been using this style now for, the better part of, pretty much all of 2019, I think. And I really like this style, and I'm just going to continue working with it. The nice thing I like about it, I'm going to show you a clip near the end, which is going to have one of the hobs I did, one of the first ones I had made a while back now. And it has, I just cut it at I cut it at 45 degrees, which gave it a 90-degree bend. And, well, it's been running long enough now that it's got algae and stuff in it, and I have to clean it. Well, you'll see when I get to that, it's very difficult to clean that 90, whereas in this case, I can just completely take it apart, scrub them all down, put it all back together. That insert, by the way, I just put in there, it is going to have some guides, but again, because this week was really quite busy, I hadn't quite got to the point of getting those set up yet, but I will definitely take care of that. So this pretty much has all the essentials all done now. All I need to do is just hook up the other standpipe and get it stuck in the tank and get it wet and see how it all flows and do all that other stuff. So there you go. It's a cool kind of setup. It's more compact. I mean, it's only a foot wide instead of 2 feet wide, which is kind of cool. And it is easy to take apart and clean, which I think is probably one of the things I'm going to try and stay with for most of my designs from now on. Sorry about the little wave in the focus there, but apparently my camera didn't find focusing on that Matten easy to do. I put this clip in here because this is what was left of the tank below that I had to do the complete reset on. But this is before it all started also turning a little bit cloudy as well. So here it is here. I've stripped it down completely. Put all the guppies in with the big mutt guppy tank. And I put the rainbows in, actually in where the other Matten filter is in for this. So you'll probably see those later on as well. And here you go. This is it up and running. It's a very easy design. It's compact, like I said before. I left the dual outputs on it because I think it kind of looks kind of neat. Obviously, I can't do that for all of them. And here is the 45s glued together to make a 90. And I have a little bit of difficulty getting in there with a brush and cleaning that because you can't ram up against the end because you'll just end up cracking it. And that is the reason why I have gone with this style here. Like I said, you can take all that apart. And also, the other thing I can do instead, currently what I'm doing now is I'm putting a hard back on it and it's glued in place. But if you remember from a little while back, I have machined Delrin end caps for these, and I could do that instead. And that would also, of course, make it completely removable so that I can clean absolutely every aspect of it. And the neat thing about acrylic is it will get dirty. I mean, that other one there it has got algae on it. But because, like I said, it is a lot harder than other polycarbonates, you can actually clean it right down to polish if you want. It's not my nature to do so. I tend to get things clean enough to be functional, as you can tell by that hob. That hob's now over a year old, and that's doing really well. The only thing I don't like about it, of course, is that was at the time when I was trying to get more airflow through filters. And I was coming up with different ways of increasing that sort of flow rate. And the little holes in that one tend to, they plug up. I mean, whenever you have an air-water interface, you'll end up with bacterial growth there. And that's why air stones get plugged up, and that's also a reason why those holes will get a little bit plugged up. And then you don't end up with the same sort of flow rate. You don't end up with the same sort of power. It just turns into a regular air-driven system, and that's fine. It still works more than well enough for my intent, but it is one of those DIYs I think that is not... it doesn't meet all the criteria that I have for that sort of thing. So actually, at the end of last year, I had mentioned what I wanted to do was to go through a bunch of the DIYs that I had done in 2019 and talk about the successes, the failures, the ones I really like, the ones I can't stand. I think the old expression is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I actually still intend on doing that. I'm going to probably try and get that done either next week or the week after because I still have to take some footage for all that. But I do want to go and go through some of that because some of them worked out really well. And then some of them are things I probably just never will ever do again. And that'd be kind of cool. Hopefully, if you guys like to hear more about that sort of stuff, definitely leave a comment down below. And now that I'm back, and hopefully everything is going to stay normal, I will definitely get around to answering all my comments and all the stuff that I do regularly. So anyway, that's a winded way of saying thank you very much. If you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe. That'll be very much appreciated. And I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.